I would cry off school quite a lot, and just go to the nurse and just say I can't go into school today, can you just write me a sick note? I would do that quite a lot if I just couldn't face the other girls, because then I wouldn't have to be in my dormitory. I could then just sleep there on my own, so I'd get away from it like that. I'd started at a new school. The term had already started. I didn't know anyone. I'd never heard of the school before. So I think I was picked on a bit because all the groups had been formed. So all the girls were already in their friendship groups, and it was quite cliquey. And I just felt like I didn't fit in, and it would just be mean comments, or I would just laugh it off. Sorry, bringing it back. I was quite tall, not quite my full height, but about 5'6". Naturally very thin. Not unhealthy, but I just had quite long, gangly limbs, and I got teased for being thin. And although you might think, oh, that's crazy, and how hurtful is that? Compared to someone calling you fat, but it does hurt when people comment on your appearance, because ultimately I just wanted to fit in. Also, I was at a boarding school. You'd share a room with maybe 6 or 8 other girls, and they played a prank on me for fun, where they had tied a polo stick to the light that was hanging in the centre of the room, and they had made a booby trap, so that when I opened the door, it would swing and hit me in the face, and that was the joke. Was to see if they could break my nose. They didn't, they missed, so I made a big joke of it and was just laughed it off and was too bad, guys, better luck next time. And just that's how I learned to cope a lot of the time. I also then started to struggle with bad acne, which is something that affects a lot of people, and even I still struggle with it today from time to time. At the time when people are commenting on something like that, when you're conscious about having bad skin, it's really mean and really painful, and it definitely made me feel very conscious, and I would spend hours learning to do my makeup and cover it up so that I could feel like I could put on a mask and go into school. But I just became the joker, because it was the only way I could really handle it. But looking back, that was my...
Is it difficult to talk about?
Yeah. I can't stop crying today. It does stay with you, I think, even though I feel fine as a person today, and I think I've really overcome a lot of the issues that the bullying did cause me, such as, confidence issues and issues with depression and anxiety. I didn't completely keep it a secret. Obviously people knew it was going on, but because I laughed it off, no teachers ever really spoke to me about it. I would go home often to my parents and beg them, I'd call them and beg them to let me come home on the weekends, because you couldn't go home every weekend. And so they knew something was wrong, but then I'd go home and then I wouldn't want to actually tell them exactly what had been happening, because I didn't want to worry them and upset them. But in hindsight, I wish I had actually spoken about it. But what did end up happening, by sixth form, I did actually end up at that point having therapy, and that did help. So I just wish I'd had it a bit earlier on, because it was from 12 it was quite bad. For me, when I have my own children, I really hope that bullying isn't something that they do have to go through, but you never know, and it's hard to prevent. So I just hope that they have someone from their school, an ambassador that they could have, fight their corner or stand up for them. I think it's so important for young people to feel that they can talk about mental health, anything that's bothering them, any way they might be feeling, where they don't feel quite right, or they're just unhappy, or they're sad or anxious, no matter how small or how big. I think, you just talk about it, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. In the UK, 10 million children are going back to school this September. Over half of them will be affected by bullying. You can change that by helping us train an anti-bullying ambassador in every school. Text anti-18 followed by £1 to 70070 to donate now. Head to backtoschool.antibullyingpro.com to find out more. This campaign is powered by the Diana Award.